Hello and a very good evening. Welcome to ELITETV and you're watching Open Debate in English. I'm CHONGTHAM AMRITA and today we're going to be debating and discussing on the topic AMIT SHAH'S shifting stand on Manipur. As we all know, and it is now on public domain, that the Union Home Minister has been shifting his understanding and the cause of the Manipur violence ever since it erupted on 3rd May last year. First, he blamed that this reason for the violence was because of the Manipur's High Court direction to the state government that the Meiteis need to be considered for the ST list according to the Indian Constitution and the ST list of the country. But then, a few months later, after that statement on the floor of the parliament itself last year on the 9th of August, he again blamed that armed Kuki infiltrators were the cause for the trouble of violence in Manipur. And then, along with that statement that he made on the floor of the parliament, he also said that the fighting and the chaos inside of Myanmar is also one of the cause for the problem that's causing this violence, that as a result of the fallout in Myanmar. And again, there is on record that he also said that this is because of the trust deficit that's existing between the two communities. Now, we know that so far he has been shifting his statements regarding the cause of the violence. It seems as if the Home Minister of one of the biggest countries in the world has no clue of how the violence has started in Manipur. And again, just 2 days ago, on one program that was held by the Archduke, that's called the Agenda Archduke, he again said that the cause of Manipur violence, or even he went as far as to say that the violence in Manipur is not terrorism, it's an ethnic clash. And now we can now deduct that the Home Minister still keeps on shifting the cause, shifting his statements regarding the cause that's going on inside of Manipur. Now, it begs the question that why would the Home Minister of the 4th largest military country and even the 3rd largest country is now clueless regarding the cause of violence in Manipur? Today we will be discussing and debating on this issue itself and the stand and the shifting stance that the Home Minister has made regarding Manipur. Now, to discuss and debate on this matter, we are now going to welcome our panelists for tonight. Now, first, our panelist for tonight is Oja SHANTA NAHAKPAM, Secretary General, UCM. Oja, welcome to Open Debate.
Good evening.
And our second panelist for tonight is Dr. NAOREM BOBO, Media Spokesperson, DMCC. Oja, welcome to Open Debate.
Good evening, good evening.
Good evening. And our third panelist will be Oja DHIREN SADOKPAM, who is the Editor-in-Chief of the Imphal Frontier, and he will be joining us shortly. But as we wait for him, we will now go ahead with the program now. I'll start with you, Oja SHANTA, first of all. That in the statement that I just mentioned regarding the interview that he gave to the Agenda Archduke, the Home Minister, he said that what is happening inside of Manipur is not terrorism, but rather an ethnic clash. And now we know that because by ruling out terrorism of what has been happening in Manipur since the past 19 months, he is ruling out a lot of things, including the brutal killings of the many women that have died, since the past last year, and also recently in DHIREN, the brutal murder of the 3 women and the 3 children. That is, by definition, an act of terrorism inside of the state, inside of the country itself. And now the thing is that whenever such acts is committed, whether in Kashmir or any other part of the country, it will be termed as a terrorist act. But why is his statement shifting when it comes to Manipur? Because by reducing such a huge scale violence to an ethnic clash, is he giving it due understanding? Is it giving it due consideration? And also, do you think that it is on the priority list in his agenda that he wants to solve this issue? So there are a lot of questions that comes around that is surrounding his statement. So first of all, I'll start with you. What do you think about this statement, that this is not a terrorist act but rather an ethnic clash?
See, from my point of view, Mr. Amit Shah has been changing his statement for quite many times, not once or twice.
Right.
But the more he changed, the more the conflict extends, the more his statement he keeps on giving statements that this is because of this and because of that and sometimes because of that. During the last parliamentary session, he had informed the country and the world that whatever is happening in Manipur is because of illegal immigrants and the conflict which is which is happening in Myanmar. But now, prior to that, when he came to Manipur, he promised that he would be coming back in few weeks or few months, and he failed to keep his promise. Secondly, he has been meeting different fraternities of both the communities or societies, and he has been trying to convince them on his way, his method. But he has not been able to convince the people of Manipur how and when this conflict is supposed to end. Rather than he has been giving different kind of statements where to confuse the people and to confuse the civil society organizations. Now, as per his statement, if he is saying that this conflict is a mere conflict between a community, two communities, then this conflict would have been solved a long time back. Because in India, there is no state or there is no district or there is no, zilla or whatever you call in Manipur, if you say Lekai, or if there is no such place in India where such kind of conflict goes on for more than a month or more than a year. But in Manipur, it has been there since 18 months and different kind of activities, different kind of reports has been picked up. So many people cannot go back to their home from both sides. The indigenous people who are living in Imphal, who belong to this fraternity, so-called Kuki fraternity, even who those people have been out of Imphal, and now the Meiteis who used to live in Chochanpur, they are out of Chochanpur. There is no way of conflict resolution, or there is no. I think AMIT Shah doesn't have an idea how the conflict is supposed to be resolved until and unless he gets cleared on how and why this conflict started and what is the solution. I think this conflict will keep on for another long time. Like, we cannot even imagine when it is supposed to end. AMIT Shah is not even able to, make both the parties, both the MLAs of both communities belonging to both communities sit in a table and discuss it on the table of BJP. Forget about the government. There is for instance, during the session of this parliament, the 10 Kuki MLAs went to Delhi and they had a sitting in Jantar Mantar and they were demanding their so-called separate administration. The BJP government here in Manipur could not even, give a statement why they have been demanding such kind of things, such kind of separation from the state. And moreover, the Delhi-based or the Delhi, high command of BJP or the high command of the central government, just let us forget about the central government for a while. There is something which the BJP is cooking, which the central party is cooking in Manipur, which they do not want to tell us, because since I think they have been, they have been kind of expecting the things to end by itself, but it is not ending as such. Now look at the number of armed forces being deployed in Manipur. When the Article 350 was removed from Kashmir had only 150 companies, but we are having 268 or more. And even now also we are not able to, bring peace in the state. When you talk of DHIREN, when you talk of so many incidents which happened in Manipur, I think AMIT Shah is, kind of a bit of confused and he, doesn't want to tell the world what the BJP or his party is cooking in Manipur, and what is he going to serve. So it's a very complicated scenario. And as a citizen of the country, we do not expect a home minister who is looking after the law and order and the welfare and peace of the country to, keep on changing his statement. So I would like to put it like this in my first round, that it's very unfortunate that AMIT Shah is keeping on changing his statement. I think the state government, BJP, should, clarify why and how AMIT Shah has been, Mr. AMIT Shah, who is the home minister of the same party who is ruling the state, has been talking, different tunes.
Yes, indeed, Oja, you rightly said that the Home Minister seems to have no idea how to resolve this crisis, because if you don't even know how this problem even started to begin with, how can you, in fact, begin to resolve it? And hence, I think this is why the central government, especially the Home Ministry, has let this violence unfold for the 19th month now. And as Oja Shanta has said, that maybe this could even last longer. This could even go on longer. Now, on that note, okay, Oja DHIREN, welcome back. Welcome to ELITETV. I'll come back to you again in the third round. But first, I'll go to Oja BOBO. That in the interview that he gave in the agenda Aaj Tak, he also said that regarding he also made a few statements regarding the chief minister, and when he was asked if the chief minister would be removed, and also on the floor of the parliament last year, specifically on August 2023, when the opposition demanded that the chief minister be removed, the chief minister of Manipur be removed, and he said that at that time that the chief minister will not be removed because he is still cooperating with him. Now the question is, what is cooperation means to him, because that was the statement made by him in August last year, and now a year, even longer than that has passed. What does cooperation mean? Because by cooperation, if the chief minister of Manipur is also letting this violence go on longer for more than a year, now 19 months, even longer than that, do you think that he is also complicit in this violence, in this non-resolution of this violence? Because, and again, in this interview that we have been talking about, he also said that when he was asked that he will not be removed because by removing him, there could be, again, bigger issues. There is a lot of thick hiccup, not necessarily a hiccup, something very sticky going on with this statement that that AMIT Shah has said. So, Oja, what are your thoughts on that statement?
Amrita, firstly, that I'd like to see the views of this Home Minister, Honorable Home Minister, what he has stated, that it's a conflict between the two communities. It's a conflict. But how can we consider that it is a conflict between the two communities when they have these Kuki militants who are under the suspension of operation, when they have used the sophisticated weapons, using the RPGs, using the dynamite, this high explosive device, and killing and destroying all the mighty villages, those who have settled in the peripheral areas. Now, for instance, let's come back to May 28. They have attacked mighty villages simultaneously in 13 areas with sophisticated weapons. And not only that, they have attacked a police station in more than a week in front of these Assam Rifle Central Forces, which was used many sophisticated weapons and trying to destroy all the police stations and killing the state forces. Mr. Anand, as we remember, that by a sniper. It is already stated in the investigation by the NIS. Then how can we term this as ethnic conflict between two communities? Those conflicts, if you see the history of ethnic conflicts, we have never seen using such a very sophisticated weapons. But in Manipur, they have been using many sophisticated weapons. And they have killed the 6 innocent civilians, including the minor and children in DHIREN recently. And that also, the Kuki MLA, Mr. Pomelan Hawkip, who has stated it's.
And that statement, it is also the ruling party from the BJP MLA. Then how can he term the term it is ethnic conflict between two communities? Why don't they term those terrorists, those Kuki militants, should be termed as a terrorist, or those killing innocent civilians? They should be termed. And if the Home Minister or the central government, if they stay in a neutral state, they should speak from the both sides. Why the Prime Minister is speaking when there was 2 new women who was last year, that happened, very sad incident. But when this mighty communities, including children and 6 women who have been brutally murdered, raped and killed and thrown out in the river of Barak, then why not single was what was spoken, or any statement was given by the central government? That is the main issue that people of Manipur who have been expecting from the central government as well as the state government, the voice of the people who have been expecting for the last 19 months, which we have been suffering, then we are still not able to cross Palen, we are still not able to cross Kangkupi, we are still not able to cross Moirang, and the victims who are the IDPD victims who are not able to return to their villages and home till today. Then what is the solution that center is trying to give to the people of Manipur, or what is the future course of action by the central government? That I would like to keep on this first one.
You also mentioned the same thing that Oza Shanta also highlighted, that that both the MLAs belonging to the different communities is now belonging to the same BJP party, and there is a big question why the Home Minister is not able to make them sit in a table and start negotiations when they all belong in the same BJP party. Now, moving on with this debate, Oja DHIREN, I'd like to ask you that we have been discussing regarding the agenda hashtag interview given by the Home Minister and also his statements regarding Manipur. Now, the thing is that we've been discussing why his statements regarding the cause of the violence keep on changing. First, he said it was illegal infiltrators, and before that, he said it was a Manipur High Court's order directing the state government to enlist, even give the recommendation of the Meiteis to become the ST, to be into the listed into the ST list. And then it keeps on changing. He also mentioned trust deficit was one of the cause, and also said that there could be some foreign hands, and then Myanmar's chaos in Myanmar's falling out into Manipur, and also causing one of the one of the cause of the violence. So there are many statements that he has given regarding this. So the question is, why is the Home Minister of the fourth most powerful country in the world still not able to pinpoint the root cause of this 19-month-long crisis, and hence not able to solve it, and also continuing to shift the cause of the issue of this violence from one goalpost to another? Do you think that there is no priority on his list of issues or agenda in his book regarding Manipur, or does Manipur feature at the bottom of the list? What are your thoughts on that? Oja DHIREN, can you hear us?
Can you hear me, Amrita?
Oh yes, I can hear you, Oja. Please continue.
Okay. Amrita, you have said more than enough. I think the entire game that started since the 3rd of May last year, I think if you recall, Amit Shah had already said that when opposition took the issue in the parliament, he said that the chief minister is cooperating. That was the first ever comment, I guess, if I remember correctly.
Yes, he
Since
did.
then, all the other comments that you have mentioned, the issue is, not whether the CM is cooperating or not. The issue is now it is 20th month, I think, almost 20th month, almost 2 years now. I think there has been no solution in sight. Forget about bringing about any solution. But if you recall, whatever Amit Shah said in the recent times, I mean, most recently, that is during the India Today, I think, one of the conclaves, one of the interviews that he gave to India Today, Amit Shah had said that, the Manipur violence is just an ethnic violence. It's not related to terrorism or religion, and also he, I think, criticized the opposition's, rather politicizing the issue. Now the problem is, see, Amit Shah during the last almost 2 years have not been able to do anything but give all sorts of comments. Now the question is, you have rightly pointed out that India is one of the, in terms of democratic, is considered one of the largest democracies in the world, and in fact, leading democracies in the world, and also one of the most, strong, in terms of its, flexing its muscles, one of the most strongest nations in the world. And the Prime Minister keeps visiting all foreign nations and intervening in the Ukraine-Russia war, and at the level of all forms of intervention, commenting on world affairs and all that. But back home, nothing has been done, particularly in the case of Manipur. But if you really look into what goes on into the minds of India's think tank, particularly those who are policy influencers, I call them policy influencers, okay? I mean, who actually manages this? Because now the question is, it's not about conflict resolution or stopping the clash or the fight that is going on in Manipur between two communities, okay? But, question is, who is actually managing it? There seems to be nobody. But behind this facade of, conflict management, it's not even management, okay? It's like kind of a proclamations here and there. Like you said, you send 70,000 troops to actually control the thing, but nothing happens. The issue still goes on, the violence still continues. Then, there will be intermittent attacks by the Kuki militants, armed Kuki militants in the fringes of Manipur's valley and elsewhere, even in Jiribam and all. We have seen all kinds of what do you call ground level kind of experience, all kinds of ground level realities. But the issue is still now, they are not very, Amit Shah himself is not, he seems to be not sure of what is actually happening. That points to another, another direction, which says that I think the political class, particularly the political class that is of the ruling regime in New Delhi, okay, have not understood, the issue, even at the level of how do they deal with the public or with the opposition raising the issue. And, criticizing the opposition for raising the Manipur issue repeatedly on the floor of the House. I mean, it's obvious. All the opposition parties are going to raise the issue on the floor of the House, So, but then if you recall, Rahul Gandhi in one of the parliament sessions, I think not in the winter session, but in the last session, he had categorically questioned the functioning of the BJP regime in New Delhi, stating that there are few people who are actually ruling. And if you remember, one of the, I think our Rahul Gandhi has gone on record quoting Ajit Doval, the National Security Advisor. So I'm not very sure whether the National Security Advisor is actually advising the Home Ministry. If he at all advises the Home Ministry or the Amit Shah, they would have had some kind of a fixed kind of answers. But I think, even the National Security Advisor has not been able to give him, kind of a proper answer. That's why he keeps fluctuating. Not necessarily fluctuating, but he keeps changing his stance despite the multiple, comments that he has made over the period of last almost 2 years now. I think we are into the 20th month or so. So I think we don't see any end in sight, except the fact that if he has mentioned that the current issue, the violence in Manipur, is purely ethnic clash, it has no terrorism or religion angle to it, I think everything is well and good. It seems well and good. But if you see in the grassroots level, in Manipur, on home ground, there has been kind of a sea change, a kind of a perception that has shifted from managing the conflict between two communities to counter-terrorism, or some kind of a managing violence by they are not hitting the right target, when say for instance, there has been multiple arrests being made since the violence broke out, but most of these arrests and other things had been in the case of, particularly if you check out NIA cases, in this particular case, most of the arrests had been made in a case called a transnational conspiracy case, which I think, behind what is happening in Manipur, there obviously is a kind of a motive behind, which is being very well planned out by New Delhi, but which the political class, despite knowing what is happening, they might not disclose it in the public fora, including the parliament, because it's going to have a series of repercussions. Because that is why we see, there are experts, there are many other commentators who have analyze what is happening in Manipur in the light of geopolitical reasoning, so that geopolitical reasoning gives ample room to suspect, particularly observers like us, to suspect that, game plan is something else. It's not only about what is happening between two communities or three communities or four communities in Manipur. For now, I'll just keep to that. In the second round, I think I'll come up with something. How do we
Yes, Oja, I think
analyze?
regarding the geopolitical angle, I think it has been discussed time and again that since Manipur being a border state, and of course one of the routes of how the drug cartels are carrying out, are mulling out their products even through Manipur, and we all know that how that has also affected and enhanced in the narrative of Manipur. A lot of us have said that, have called these armed Kuki militants as narco-terrorists because of their dealings and also their dealings and links with the drug cartels and also armed groups as well. Now the thing is that the Home Minister also has this in his knowledge that this is caused by, he also said it, that in the full floor of the parliament, that this was one of the reason could be armed militants crossing over from across the border. So Oja, I'll come back to you again in the next round, because this point I'd like to take it to Oja Shanta as well. Oja said you have also earlier said this point, and now regarding this these groups, armed groups crossing over from the other border and also causing this violence. And also recently the NIA report, one of the report from the NIA also saying that Northeast could be one of the biggest hub of terrorism, cross-border terrorism. In fact, that's the word that they have used, and the epicenter of that could be this Manipur violence that's ongoing. Now, Oja, the thing is that the NIA, an autonomous body, a body with a full integrity in its dealings. The thing is that if the Home Ministry is not yet able to pinpoint a root cause, or also even mildly trying to deny the fact that there is in fact some narco-terrorists and all of the things that we have been saying from the state of Manipur, if the central ministry is trying to deny the fact, but we know that the NIA is now giving a kind of a report that is contradictory to what the Home Minister has said. Now, on that note, Oja, do you think there is some kind of a push and pull within these bodies in the central government, or the statutory bodies, the autonomous bodies? Do you think there is a conflict of interest or conflict of interest in the statutory bodies of the center?
If we talk of the reports being brought out by NIA or any other agencies, and how the issues in Manipur and the conflict has been unfolding in the media as well as in the parliament as well as in the Manipur Assembly. You can talk in two angles, whether you can look at the reports which the NIA, which the CBI, whatever agencies are there, which the Assam Rifles has been giving, which the BSF has been giving. You can go on that angle also. Another angle you can go on is how it has been understood politically, and what the politicians are trying to make the people of the country understand through this conflict. Mm-hmm. You see, it seems that, to me, it seems that yes, the NIA or the other agencies are trying to find out how this conflict has started and how long it is going to happen. Once you find the root of the conflict, you will be definitely able to understand who is responsible, how the funding has been made, and also how it is supposed to end, and who are the people whom the government needs to pick up and talk to. Unless the CSOs keep on talking that this is because of that, this is because of this, and we keep on telling them that our narrative. You see, people, whatever CSOs are there on both sides, we keep on giving our narratives. Now the thing is that when we look at the angle where the agencies are doing the research work or the fact finding, and the court, basically the Supreme Court committee and others, we actually find that this conflict has a very deep root relation with the Golden Triangle, the drug mafia, and the captive economy because of drugs. But the thing is that but now I think it seems to be a little late to keep talking, because you see, the Assam Rifles should be made fully responsible for the infiltration as well as drugs movement, as well as the failure of the central government to pick up the matter at an urgent level to convince other politicians and the people of the country. Because as per the Assam Rifles Act, they were empowered with the law and order, border guarding, and one other point. But when the Assam Rifles has been there guarding the Manipur border and the northeastern border since 100 years or more than 50 years since the Indian got its independence, how has the country been made to fall apart with such a division of political and linguistic map? This is what I want to ask to the government. I know that the politicians are not able to understand and they are not able to answer so many things. Why? Because the intelligence report given prior to this crisis, it was not a well-maintained report. It might have been fake. The Assam Rifles might have been sending reports to the Union Home Ministry that everything is okay, everything is fine. So we come to know the results suddenly, 2023, May 3rd, after this conflict, unfolded. We came to know what is happening in Manipur, why it is happening, why they are opposing NRC, why the people want to make an Anglo-Manipur, Anglo-Kuki war, which never happened, so many things. And finally, the NIA comes to know that Northeast might be the epicenter of the conflict, the whole conflict, epicenter of the whole conflict. And yes, but why not the NIA is blaming the security forces, or why not they are doing a fact finding upon the security forces who were stationed in the border of Manipur since so long, since quite a long time? Why has the government of India decided that yes, there is a need for border fencing right now? Why didn't the Assam Rifles send a report that the border fencing is quite crucial because there are arms movement, drug movement, there are infiltration of people? How come on the watch of the Assam Rifles, that the number of people and the population in Chorsanpur was suddenly rise? There are so many questions which the NIA has to do a fact finding on. It is not only that the conflict started with, how the conflict started, it is because of terrorism, it is because of, community misunderstanding or so many things. But to keep the country at peace and to make the Northeast develop, the agencies need to find a solution or a core issue where the politicians can get the will to take decision. If the politicians keep on confusing, if they are being given reports such as, for example, Mr. Nair had said that there was no drone bombing. Now the NIA found out that there was a drone bombing. Why not NIA take up a case? Why not they take up a case against the ex-army officer, ex-decorated officer, that how come he was able to say such kind of thing when he was the commander of the guards who was sitting in the state of Manipur for quite a long time. So, I would like to conclude by saying that the agencies need to give, the politicians with the report where the politicians, do not change their words, do not change their tone, do not change the meaning of what they speak. The politicians cannot keep on changing their words. Like today, I can say that, yes, this is yellow. Tomorrow, I say that this is red. Day after tomorrow, I said, yes, this is a rainbow. That's not possible for a politician to say. To guard a country, Amit Shah as a home minister, country of the people's trust will be lost. This is what he also needs to understand. This is what I want to say on my second round.
Indeed, Oja, that's a very good point, because there seems to be a huge conflict of interest within the central agencies, and also I think you rightly said that the central these agencies need to hold such leaders accountable for whatever the speech they make, because whatever the speech they make, whatever they speak, are still taken with a heavy weight, with a great importance by the people who are listening to them, and hence they need to be taken accountable indeed, Oja. Now, I'll come back to you again in the next round. Now, moving on with this debate, Oja Bobo, the thing is that regarding the statements made by Union Home Minister in this interview, he also said that there is no religious angle in this violence, which which sounds absurd, because we know that there is a narrative from the Kuki-Chin-Zo communities, people who are waging this violence, in fact, to carve out a Christian nation out of the states of Manipur and even some parts of Bangladesh and also from some parts of Myanmar. We know that this to be true, and this is one of the bigger agendas from the Kuki-Chin-Zo communities. And also, in aligning with this agenda of them, they have also already burned down so many temples that have been located, that were in Churachandpur, in More, and also in many other areas. They have also burned down churches that were belonging to the Meitei community, the people who have been following the Christian faith by the Meitei community. So it looks like there is in fact clearly a big religious angle. And why then the Home Minister, who is also the same party member of the 10 Kuki MLAs, not able to recognize this? Why did he say that there is no religious angle? Is he trying to undermine or underplay the violence in Manipur by just labeling it as an ethnic clash? So what do you think about that?
Yes, Amrita. See, if we talk about religion, it may be a vast topic on it, but just let us view some of the classes which happened before Method also. See, about the Mount Kabru, we the Meitei people have been worshipping for since time immortals as our forefather. That our civilization, which started from this Mount Kabru, Mount Thangjing, and this different part of Manipur. But they have burned down many times the temple of Kabru Laikhas, and they have stood a cross on this Mount Thangjing also. So some of the angle which is also likely that about the Christian countries which you have mentioned about it, recent this last year that CM of Mizoram also has given the statement in a speech in the US that they have been planning for a nationhood. That he has started a very controversial statement. But till today, there is no such an action or any formality taken up to the CM of Mizoram. And looking over all this to all the Meitei communities, different part of our temples which they have destroyed. But they have manipulated the so-called Kuki-Jo communities that we the majority have destroyed the churches. We the majority have many churches have been burned down and so on. But they have never mentioned that many part of our temples which they have destroyed. Before Method also, after the Method, they massively destroy it. Many temples. Regarding Kondong Naiwi, how many times they have destroyed? Even they kicked this idol of this goddess, and they have many and thrown down somewhere else. Like that, many it happened. So it is the government who should understood. The central government knew that this is happening. And even the central forces, which Oja Hemanta has also stated as Assam Rifle, knew everything about it. But none of them has mentioned it, and giving the victim card, playing in the name of religion, in the name of minority communities, we have been victimized. Not that to these Jo communities, but Kuki-Jo communities. But we might especially have been victimized in different ways, different angles, like the manipulation of the histories, manipulation of the media communities, manipulation of the narratives, which so many might have been killed, despite the official from the official, not an official number. So we have to come to very clearly that the politicians who are the leaders of today in Manipur, they have to stand not by their political ideologies, not by their political parties. If they really want to solve the ongoing conflict and they really want to bring a peaceful solution, they should not stand in a one political party, or they should come forward and take the reality of the ground and reality of the people's voice and take it into action and make it in a practical way, not giving only a statement. Let's say, for example, there is something happen in Jiri, there is something happen in somewhere else. On that, they just divert the main issue, main course. like the Kamal Babu, which we have not found or traceable till now. And suddenly in Wangin, one village volunteer was killed in encounter with this state police. So our main issues have been diverging in many ways. Yeah, we are forgetting that what is the main root cause, and they are manipulating the public so that we may go in different directions, so that we forget our main issues. Our main issue is to save the integrity of Manipur, and as a community of all communities, what we like to stay in, or we like to go any part of Manipur or any part of the anywhere we can settle, so try to settle it. That should be the freedom of our people. That is the main issue, and we have to safeguard it. That is the border of our this state Manipur. We should also recall the history about the Bobo Valley, that we already lost it. And now that we are confined in this 700 or 800 square feet from Panel to Kangpupi to Moirang and Sekmai, that within this for the last 19 months. But during this very crucial time, the politician or the leader of any party should sacrifice for the cause of Manipur, for the cause of future of our younger generation, for the cause of our better future. Not to politically manipulate the people and make the innocent public in sacrifice for their party or for this, only for a political gain or political game plan. So let us, we should only focus on the root cause, and we should only see if we are not able to access the highway for last 19 or 20 months, then why we are still keeping on mind that we are under siege, but we are not able to express our thought, our freedom of expression, our freedom of liberty, our freedom right to live, or our freedom to assist anywhere. This is the main issue that we should focus from any part of the CSOs or any part of the political parties. Thank you.
Very good point, Oja. I think that really needs to be thought of and also need to be considered in especially in the central dialogue. Whenever there is especially to the mainstream media, when they discuss or they want to discuss about Manipur in their channels, I think that part that you mentioned need to be brought up a lot, and I think that is one of the root cause. In fact, now moving on with this, Oja DHIREN, I'd like to come to you. Is that in that interview, he was asked regarding the leadership change, especially the chief minister, if he should be changed and all that, and he said that it will be decided by the party president, and then there are due process of that. And he also said that if the leadership is supposed to be changed, then there could be some undesirable reactions that could happen. So he mentioned before, he said that the chief minister will not be changed, as you rightly said in last year that the chief minister is still cooperating, and now he said that there could be undesirable reactions if the chief minister is changed at this juncture. The question is, what kind of undesirable reactions was he referring to? Because there is a huge force from within the state itself that says that the chief minister in fact should be removed, including a lot of the BJP MLAs. I think we already know it's in the public domain that they all have submitted a lot of signed letter to the prime minister as well. Now, when such a huge force is against the current regime, the current chief minister, how then the home minister can say such a thing? And what was he referring to when he said that there could be undesirable reactions? Oja, what do you think about that?
Amrita, before I come to kind of an uneasy relation between Biren Singh, our chief minister, and Home Minister Amit Shah, I think I perfectly concur with my two other esteemed panelists who have, observed who have given enough details and also their observations. I think I perfectly concur with them. Mm-hmm. But one thing that we should understand is, before I come to the relationship, the uneasy relationship between Biren and Amit Shah, I think one we should understand is if anyone has observed the North is not only the Meitei Kuki or anything about not only Manipur, but Nagaland, Mizoram, Assam and entire Northeast for over a period of time. What we have realized is that over this period of time, there has been a kind of a consistent effort by the New Delhi regime to actually convert what I call a vertical kind of a conflict. Okay, vertical conflict is nothing but, see, we have so many groups starting from Naga group to Mizo groups, and even in earlier in history, and also groups in Manipur, what we normally call the armed opposition group, who had been fighting New Delhi regime for a long time. And this is the kind of a conflict that I call a vertical kind of a conflict, okay, between the armed groups who want be separate from India, or who are seeking restoration of a sovereignty or lost sovereignty, or people who are demanding independence, or all those kinds of issues. So this kind of a conflict is what I term as the vertical conflict. But over a period of time, what we have seen is there has been a consistent effort to turn this vertical conflict into a kind of a horizontal conflict. What do I mean by horizontal conflict? Horizontal conflict is nothing but, today if Meitei fight the Kukis, or Meitei fight the Nagas, or Meitei fight among ourselves, there has been a kind of an intensification of what I understand as the horizontal, what I term as the horizontal conflict. It could be in Nagaland, it could be between the eastern Nagas and the central Nagalands, or maybe the southern Nagas. In Mizoram, it could be various other things. In Mizoram is a case slightly different from the rest of the other thing. But over a period of time, over the last 2 decades, what we have seen is, intensification of what I call the horizontal conflict, or what other academics call the internal contradictions. So, they are all resolvable, but for some reasons, I think the Delhi think tank thinks that the more there is the intensification of the horizontal conflict, it will make them easier to deal with the vertical conflict. Okay, so that everybody would come to surrender, or they will give up their fight against New Delhi while we fight among ourselves. I think that seems to be the kind of a thinking kind of a template that New Delhi is actually pulling out of their what you call hats, the strategic hats. I think that is one point which I wanted to add on to in the last thing. But coming back to the kind of a relationship between Chief Minister Biren and also Amit Shah, I think there is it's kind of a, we know that Northeast has been always a kind of a sensitive, not only sensitive, but it's a kind of a hot spot for all kinds of politics being played here, both at the experimental level as well as at the what you call ideological level. So at one point, I think when Amit Shah says that the CM is cooperating, maybe at that point in history, that is just last year, okay, he might have thought that they didn't want to lose the political base. When I say political base, is the BJP political base, or BJP is in allies, okay, their base in Manipur. So for some time, he thinks that the moment, if they take a drastic step of removing Biren out in the power, that, what you call the BJP may lose, what you call its support in Manipur, particularly in Manipur. But in the last Lok Sabha election, we have seen that this kind of a wait and watch game plan, or the fear of losing BJP base in Manipur, okay, has gone completely to disappeared in thin air. Why? Because the Congress swept the elections, and we know that both Inner Manipur and Outer Manipur, it was the Congress who actually came out victorious. So, which basically means the entire game plan, be it horizontal conflict or vertical conflict for BJP, it paid no political dividends. So that is one factor that we have to know, But still, I think, Amit Shah seems to be hoping against hope, thinking that, removing a Meitei chief minister may lose its own constituency. When I say constituencies, means the kind of a Meitei vote bank, which has already proven otherwise, okay, in the last Lok Sabha election. And that was not necessarily, of course, a vote for Congress, but that was vote against BJP that the political pundits should be very well aware of. I think that is one factor. But having said that, Amit Shah had been, I think he looks to be be very careful while not actually grasping the kind of a reality. One can be very cautious without even knowing what is actually happening. Okay, so he seems to be in a cautious mode without realizing what is actually happening and the dynamics that is at play in Manipur right now. Okay, so and he also might be thinking that if he takes a drastic measures in Manipur, this could actually disrupt BJP's progress in the region, and bury the whole BJP's game plan in the region underneath. Okay, bury it underneath for almost forever. So I think Centre's failure to find a durable peace in Manipur, I think, is actually sinking deep in Manipur. So I think there is one factor, and maybe they're a little confused at the political level, but strategically, I think there is no confusion that India is making. That's what I want to put across, Amrita.
Indeed, very good point, Oja. I think the times have changed, and also the political dynamics have completely changed, as you have rightly highlighted. The change in the political dynamics in the state now in the recent Lok Sabha election. Now, on that note, Oja Shanta, I would like you to supplement on what Oja DHIREN has also said. And do you think that this is now the statement that he said last year? Do you think that it still holds weight at this juncture now? In the December of 2024, do you think that the statement that he made at that time now still holds weight? Because just yesterday he said that there could be some other repercussions if the leadership is changed. Now, since Oja DHIREN has said the political dynamics and even the BJP game plan has been completely overturned, what is there now? What is left? What is left now is the question. Oja Shanta, would you like to supplement that? And do you also agree with what Oja DHIREN said?
So, from my personal opinion, I think I do not want to say much regarding this, because I believe that, he's trying to find out a way where you can, decide that you can call it a communal conflict between the two parties. For example, if Mr. DHIREN has been removed, then he is just trying to, from my opinion, it's my personal opinion.
Okay.
He's just trying to show that he's just trying to, mention by not talking and by not saying why he's not removing him, that all the Meitei, votes might ignite against the cookies, because he wants to show that DHIREN is the savior of the state. DHIREN is the, person who has been, helping the Meiteis. But I think it is not about helping, from my opinion, it is not about helping the Meiteis, but it is about saving the country. Maybe he's not able to understand it. He is just saying that there might be repercussions of removing him. From my point of view, I strongly believe that if DHIREN is being removed, the recently done peace talk with one of the Meitei groups, then Rambai Tengol, then the Meitei Lipun, and the relatively operated, village volunteers, everybody might go on a wrong angle. This is what he is trying to say. But I don't know why he he finds it a good words to use this kind of a statement, because he would have talked of what he has been doing in Manipur and what they have learned as a politician on this geopolitical state, which is quite important for India. And he could have also said that his regime has already done a lot of things, like Mr. DHIREN has been talking for quite a long time regarding the ILP, FMR, and he could have said why he has been agreed to the government in removing Assam Rifles from quite a number of posts, which is now being handled by the CRPF and the BSF and the other troops. So there are so many things he could have said, but I don't understand. From my point of view, I'm not able to understand why he's trying to, I think he's more than, talking of solving the Manipur issue rather than communalizing the present conflict. Because since the starting of this conflict, he has been giving different statements. And I believe that after the parliament ends, he's going to give another statement. And till now, I don't think that the Ministry of Home has done enough to resolve the matter, and even the party is politically has not done enough to resolve the matter. The party could have met the MLAs, Kuki MLAs and the Meitei MLAs sit on the table of Mr. JP Nadda. That has never happened. The party president could have called on for peace, sitting on the table of the central command of the party itself. It has never happened. The BJP has not been able to say how the conflict is supposed to end. Let us forget about the IDPs and other conflict affected people and their survival. But we have been starving and we have been struggling. The people has been struggling, just waiting for how the conflict is supposed to end. When the BJP government in the state wants to, wants to take the state, bus, the state vehicle for the people to Senapati or to Mao, and simply the Kuki, the militants back CSOs, they simply, start over with their new blockade or their new agenda of highlighting that, you are not permitted. The state bus is not even permitted in the areas of Kangpopi. The Home Ministry is not able to take a single step. Whereas the Chief Secretary of the state had already announced that stringent action would be taken if the movement of such activity, government activities are stopped by anybody. Let us forget about this also. Mr. AMIT Shah has been saying that the Honorable Chief Minister of Manipur has been cooperating for quite a long time. Now if we see at the Liangmai, there is one Liangmai festival which was supposed to be attended by the Honorable Chief Minister, which is very close there and one of the most trusted person in the whole of the country. Now he was been set by the Kuki, by so-called Kotu or so-called their CSOs that they cannot trespass. They have used the word trespass. The Chief Minister of a state cannot pass through their homes, through their land. This is what they have said. The land doesn't belong to them. The land belongs to India. The land belongs to the state of Manipur. We are just a people of the country. We are just a citizen of the country. But the Ministry of Home is not able to make the citizens realize that. They are still keeping on, helping them talk whatever they want. They are still keeping on helping them do whatever they like. And I think Mr. Home Minister is quite perfectly timed to say that this is a communal conflict and where the Meiteis cannot go to the Kukis and the Kukis cannot come to the Meiteis. So the longer the conflict stretches, the more they will be able to prove that this is a communal conflict. So we need to look at an angle how the state government decides to complete the NRC, how the delimitation will not affect the indigenous people of the state, including all tribals. It is not about Kuki, Mer Kuki or the Nagas. It is about all tribals, all tribal people who has been residing in the state. So I think he is not able to understand or able to manage the conflict properly. So he just gave a statement that this is a communal conflict and there is no religious thing, or so on. Like he still believes, he seems to still believe that like the Hatra conflict in this UP, which recently happened, where the Congress, Rahul Gandhi went down there and met the victims, and the government is trying to normalize the matter, and it might get normalized in another 2-3 weeks or 2-3 months. Manipur conflict is not such kind of conflict. He actually understands, but he doesn't want to resolve it. This is what I want to put as a closing remark.
Very good point, Oja. On that note, I'd like to take that issue with your point with Oja Bobo, that there is a saying that the central leadership has no clue of how to resolve this violence in Manipur, because the state, especially the central leadership, in fact, from many years ago, has no idea on the politics, because there is a lot of customary laws and also a very deep-rooted traditions involved with the Northeast, and it's not just about Manipur, but the whole of Northeast seems to be left out by the central ministry or even from the previous government, and it has been the norm, and we have been experiencing that living as a Manipuri even in the state. Now there is a lot of talk going about in the state from a lot of intellectuals who are saying that the central leadership is just waiting for Manipur to turn into a Kashmir-like situation, because that is the only way they know how to handle the situation. Because whatever happens in Kashmir, that is the only formula that they want to apply in Manipur, Similarly, and now since the Manipur crisis is become such complex, such diverse, and so many deep-rooted issues are now coming up to the surface, and now they have no clue. So now they're waiting for this violence to turn into a similar Kashmir-like situation, and only then they will start to give these banded solutions or whatever solution they have in mind. What do you think about that, Uja? Please keep it in short, and we still have one more speaker left, so we are about to wrap us up. So, yeah, please keep it short.
Sure, Abhita, sure. See, if you look the current scenario of Manipur, see, from the last 19 months, see, the internet has been shut down and off it has been going on. The educational institution has been shut down on and off it has been going on. The highway has been not able to seize. And we are economically very, very much weak now in Manipur, and many part of hill areas of this paddy field has been not able to cultivate this year due to this conflict, and so-called the Kuki-Jo terrorists has been attacking the Maitai communities nearby hill areas, which are very good paddy field which produce a lot of rice. But this year we are not able to cultivate that. And one Sonia, Madam Sonia, which has been killed in Saiton, also mother of tree, if you recall about it also, when cultivating in the paddy field. So overall, if we come and see the scenario of Manipur, then it is already like Kashmir. Like Kashmir and Jammu Kashmir, like in Manipur, already it's like it. SY has been already extended, and so if you see the current inflation rate of Manipur is the highest, 10.25 to 10.57 around it maybe. So we are living in such a critical stage, and still the government and the central government, they also knew it very well that what is happening in Manipur. If they really like to resolve it, then why don't they, on that 3rd May, which erupted from the Churchampur, that the violence which have started, see, they are already in the hill areas. It is already in ESFA. It's already armed for special forces given to the security forces. Why don't they act it immediately? Why don't they resolve it immediately on that day especially? Why don't they resolve in More? Why don't they resolve in conflict? And why are they escalating the violence conflicts till today? This is a question which everybody, every responsible citizen, every responsible citizen of this country and this state has been rising today. Then if they really want to resolve, then they can resolve it. Solely I like to keep on this.
Thank you, Oja, for your points. Now moving on with the last part of this program, Oja Dhiren, I'd like to know from you is that even our speakers have already pointed out that the Home Minister and also the Chief Minister, they like to repeatedly point out that the steps they have taken up to bring peace in Manipur are the FMR, the removal of FMR even, and the NRC and the border fencing. So these are the things that they would like to actually advertise or even say that they have, these are the steps that they have proudly taken up to prevent not just to prevent but to bring peace in Manipur. The thing is that these are actually long-term solutions, and in fact this should have been done 10 years ago, in fact 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and in fact these are coming, these are now coming too late actually. But what have they done to do the immediate, to solve the immediate crisis? This is the question, because now there is still fighting going on, there are still gunfights, firings, and also I think recently there have been some gunfight even at Jiribam and even some districts as well. What about them? What about the firing continuing, and what about this armed group still going out at play, and even the central forces not being able to capture or fire back at them? Because these are the greater issues now at play. What about them? So Ozara, please give your closing remarks with that point as well.
Over the last almost 19 months, 20 months now, I think the issue still continues, which basically goes on to show, or my personal opinion is that, Amrita, I think New Delhi is completely bereft of what I call political morality, you know. It is within laws. The state can always exercise their writ over, you know, the state basically means the government of India can exercise its writ over all kinds of issues in the country, okay? Internal crisis or external crisis, whatever that may be. But I think if they have not done that, I think they know precisely what they're doing. Only thing is, I think they're hiding something, to be very honest.
Okay.
So, you know, you create a kind of a political confusion, and and that political confusion leads to what you call a degradation of political morality or a total absence of political morality, because we know, we can't go on like this for almost 2 months, so there is a total absence of political morality, number one. Number two, we have to also realize the fact that I think Shanta has just mentioned, that we have to also realize the fact that physically and geographically Manipur is already separated. Please accept the fact. If the chief minister of Manipur cannot go to us, my previous one of the panelists, I think Mrs. Shanta, has said that if they cannot, chief minister cannot go to even the Naga village, which have to cross some Kuki inhabited area, physically, geographically, and in fact politically, who knows, because the chief minister is a political position. If he cannot go to some areas in Kangpokpi or Susanpur, I think physically and geographically and politically, I think the separation is already done. What is being left now is only a declaration from New Delhi. And so in that sense, I think it's not even bifurcation, it could be trifurcation, whatever. So I have a hunch that New Delhi knows exactly what game plan they're planning to roll out of New Delhi, like a juggernaut, okay? So I think they know precisely what they are doing it. But what they have not realized over a period of time is, in order to work out this far, I think there had been total failure of governance standard and also the accountability. And they should realize that all this kind of a game plan which is being rolled out of New Delhi in the form of, when I say game plan, I'm very sure it's a game plan because of the failure to address the issue, which they could have done it immediately, okay? So I think this is going to lead to a further erosion of, not only the leadership of the nation, but, erosion of what we call the values that India had been always being cherished about, which Indians have always cherished about. So, it also involves multiple stakeholders, and all the stakeholders seems to have some kind of, when I say stakeholders, means not state-based, not Manipur-based stakeholders, but stakeholders at the national level, I think there's seems crisis of who actually are stakeholders now. So even if one tries to reevaluate the leadership now in India, I think since they are very sure that something is being rolled out under the carpet, okay, something is being rolled out under the carpet. That is why precisely why that inaction that has been what we have always talked about, the inaction of New Delhi, the inaction of government of India, and I think this is going to cost dear, okay. So because of the absence of a collaborative or inclusive approach to this issue that we are facing right now, I think this is going to have a potentially very dangerous in the long run, and not only for Manipur, but for the entire Northeast.
Very dangerous consequences that whatever they're harboring or trying to put up, or even a game plan they're trying to roll out, could bring a lot of deep-rooted and very dangerous ramifications or consequences, which are very beautifully put. In fact, I think our MP in the parliament has also said that the Manipur issue is now a national issue, and I think he has all of these things in his mind when he said that, because if whatever is happening in Manipur is left unchecked, it could bring a lot of bad things even for the country, which is now trying to build itself as one of the most powerful countries in the world, and also even trying to enter into the UNSC and all of the big shots. I think one issue, maybe a wrong step regarding Manipur, could even lead to disastrous effects, is what our panelists have said. Now, on that note, I'd like to wrap up today's program. I'd like to thank our panelists, Oja DHIREN, Oja BOBO, and Oja SHANTA NAHAKPAM, for joining us and giving us your thoughts again. Thank you all once again. I'd also like to thank our viewers for tuning in tonight. We will be back again next Monday with more exciting topics. Until then, keep watching ELITETV. This is AMRITA signing off. Have a good night.